I was about to knock on my parents' door when I heard them tell my brother, "Don't worry about the debt. We'll make your sister pay. She'll never say no to family." I froze with the grocery bags in my hands. Through the kitchen window, I could see them all sitting around the table. Mom, Dad, and my brother Landon. Dad was saying Harper's got that new job. Making good money now, we'll just tell her it's for Mom's surgery. Mom nodded and said she gave us $12,000 for the roof last year, no questions asked. My stomach dropped because there was no roof repair. I had seen the receipts myself. They had used my money for Landon's gambling debts. Mom asked how much this time, and Landon said casually, $50,000, maybe $60,000 if we play it right. Tell her the cancer came back. Cancer. They were going to fake cancer to steal from me. I backed away slowly with my mind racing, thinking about the cancer scare from 2 years ago, the one that made me liquidate my retirement fund to pay for experimental treatments, wondering if that had been fake too. I thought about all the times I had helped, the car accident that supposedly wasn't covered by insurance, Landon's business that needed startup capital, Mom's dental work, Dad's back surgery, $57,000 over 5 years, all because I thought I was being a good daughter. Every family gathering they praised me for being so generous, and behind my back they were laughing at how easy I was to manipulate. I got in my car and drove straight to the bank. I told the teller I would like to close all my accounts, all of them, every single one, and I needed cashier's checks for the full amounts plus documentation of every transaction I had made to these 3 people over the past 5 years. That evening, Landon called right on schedule and said, "Hey sis, can you come over tomorrow? Mom has some news about her health." His voice had that practiced concern, the same tone he had used for every fake emergency. I said sure in the sweetest voice I could manage. I'll bring the whole family something special. I spent that night making copies of everything. Bank statements, medical records I had helped pay for, receipts from Landon's failed ventures. 5 years of financial manipulation, all documented and organized. The next day, I walked into their house with 3 manila envelopes and my biggest smile. Mom rushed over already looking pale and fragile and said, "I'm so glad you're here, we need to talk about something serious." I told them actually I had something for each of them first and handed them each an envelope. Dad opened his suspiciously and asked what this was. I told them since we're family and family helps each other, I thought they would want to see exactly how much they had cost me. Landon, yours comes to $32,000. Dad, $18,000. Mom, $7,000. Their faces went white as they stared at the numbers printed in black and white. I told them these were cashier's checks for those exact amounts. Consider them loans that I was now calling in with interest. The payment plan would start next month, $500 each every month until every penny was paid back. Landon sputtered and said, "Harper, what are you talking about? We're family." I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, did I interrupt Mom's big cancer announcement? Please don't let me stop the show." I turned to Mom with exaggerated concern and said, "Funny thing, though I called Dr. Duncan yesterday and he says you haven't been a patient there in 3 years. I also called Dr. Ortega about Dad's back surgery and there was no record of that either." The silence in the room was suffocating as they stared at me with a mix of anger and panic. I told them, "Here is what is going to happen. You are going to pay me back every single penny or I am filing police reports for fraud. Mom faking cancer for money is a felony. Dad insurance fraud carries a minimum 2-year sentence." Dad stood up angrily and said, "You can't threaten your own family." I laughed and said, "Family? You mean the people who spent 5 years seeing me as a walking ATM? The ones who were planning to fake cancer again to steal $60,000 from me?" I headed toward the door, then turned back one last time and said, "Oh, and Landon, I sent copies of everything to the IRS. It turns out you never reported those business loans as income. Enjoy the audit." As I walked to my car, I could hear them shouting behind me. My phone started buzzing with angry texts and missed calls, accusations and guilt trips flooding in one after another. But for the first time in years, I did not feel small or obligated or afraid. I felt steady, clear-headed, and completely free. The family that had been bleeding me dry and counting on my silence was finally facing consequences. And I realized that saying no was not betrayal. It was survival. And I drove away knowing that whatever happened next, I would never again confuse manipulation with love, and I would never again let anyone use the word family as a weapon against me.